So I'm the President and General Manager of Western Europe region. So that includes countries like France, Germany, the Nordics. And so I lead that organization. There's about a little over 1,200 now PepsiCo associates that work within Western Europe, and so we run that business. So I grew up in Texas and went to school in Colorado, and then later on in Chicago. So lived kind of all over the U.S. a bit. I've spent time out in California as well, and in Tennessee. So yeah, so Geneva's very different. It's a very, very international city, and you know, with the UN kind of here and all the world kind of banking and all of that, you meet people from all different cultures, and I love the diversity of it, because it's, you know, you really do, you just meet people from all types of backgrounds. And so, you know, my neighbors are Russian and Egyptian and Hungarian and Swiss, and yet you do find ways to connect with people that are very different from you and that have come from very different backgrounds. And so, you know, for us, it's just been a very kind of an exciting adventure. Work-life balance. Work-life balance is tough. I mean, you know, I think if you love what you do, and it is personal for me, and so, you know, it all sort of flows together at the end. Whenever people ask me questions about how do you do work-life balance, or if somebody's struggling with it, and I always say it starts first with, don't try to struggle with that on your own. You need to communicate with those around you, communicate with your family, communicate with your boss. What do you need? And you find the things that you need to keep you motivated and to keep you fulfilled, and you make sure that you get that. And once you have that, it all sort of just flows together. You know, so for me, I like to, you know, I like to run. I read a lot. Admittedly, I read a lot of things that relate to work, but I also like to do fun reading as well. As far as how do I motivate or inspire others, I think if you start with passion, people see that, and I find if I show up and I'm fully engaged and I'm, you know, try for every interaction to really be kind of full on. I need to have a better terminology for this, but
passion.
Yeah. So I guess starting over again, I would say, how do I inspire others? I think a lot of it starts with my passion, and people see that. And when I'm engaged in a conversation, they're then engaged, and I think people feed off of each other for it. And so I think that's where it starts. For me, it actually starts with family, and my grandmother, my mother's mom. Her father, my mom's father, my grandfather, died quite early, unexpectedly. He was a dairy farmer, and so my grandmother found herself needing to support herself, and so she, you know, she was a dairy farmer's housewife, and so she went out and got a retail job first, because that's what she could do, and then saved up enough money with a friend and bought one of the first Baskin-Robbins franchises in South Texas, and ran that business successfully for the next 30 years, and actually bought a second store, and eventually actually bought out her friend. And so I grew up with that as kind of a role model, a grandmother who worked and was very self-sufficient and independent. And so we worked as grandkids. We would go work for her during the summer once we were old enough. And I think that was one of my first, I guess, bits of inspiration of just, you know, with kind of making some smart decisions and passion, you can really, you know, make it and enjoy your life.